Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Ephraim Graham.
And I'm Charlene Israel. Two major abortion fights, two different outcomes. Voters in Albuquerque, New Mexico defeated a ban on late-term abortions, while in Texas, a tough new abortion law stands after the U.S. Supreme Court refused to intervene. In Texas, a victory for the pro-life movement. A third of the state's abortion clinics will remain closed after the U.S. Supreme Court decided not to intervene. Back in July, the Texas legislature passed a law requiring doctors who perform abortions in clinics to have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital.
1 out of 3 women in Texas will now be unable to access safe abortion services.
But supporters say making clinics meet higher regulatory standards protects patients.
At the end of the day, House Bill 2 makes sure that anyone performing abortions in the state of Texas is doing so in a facility that meets appropriate safety guidelines. That is reasonable. That is common sense.
Meanwhile, in Albuquerque, voters rejected a ballot measure that would have banned abortions after 20 weeks.
It's really important for women to have control over their own bodies.
But supporters of banning late-term abortion say the fight is far from over.
While we are disappointed, we will come back stronger. We will keep moving forward. We will never back down. We will never give up.
Across the country, pro-lifers are targeting late-term abortions and citing the horrific practices that go along with them. Former workers at one Houston abortion clinic described babies being born alive daily and killed at the hand of an abortionist.
When he did an abortion, especially a over 20-week abortion, most of the time the fetus would come completely out before he either cut the spinal cord or he introduced one of the instruments into the soft spot of the fetus in order to kill the fetus. But I wasn't aware, I thought, well, it's an abortion, that's what he does. But I wasn't aware that it was illegal. And of course, the fetus would still be alive because it was still moving, and you could see, the stomach breathing. When
you saw this happen?
Oh yes, I think every morning I saw on several occasions.
The issue will likely surface in the 2016 presidential elections. Potential GOP candidates Senator Ted Cruz of Florida and Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky have both spoken out against late-term abortions.
The fraud case against an Iowa Planned Parenthood affiliate is in court today. The case was filed by Sue Thayer, who managed Planned Parenthood's Storm Lake Clinic for 17 years. Thayer says the office submitted repeated false, fraudulent, and ineligible claims for reimbursements. She's represented by attorneys with the Alliance Defending Freedom. This is a case that began to unfold when Planned Parenthood made plans to offer webcam abortions at all Iowa facilities. It was considered a big moneymaker in a facility which had not offered abortions before.
The staff were, instructed to say that we can take care of that problem today, 45 minutes in and out. My boss said, if you are breathing, you can do it. It helps if you've run a joystick because it's a lot like playing a video game.
Though she once managed the clinic, Thayer changed her mind on abortion and was forced to resign from her position.
A new report says the White House was warned as far back as late March that the Obamacare website rollout was facing serious problems. The consulting firm McKinsey & Company issued a report listing several potential problems with the website, as well as call centers. The firm briefed top administration officials, including Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. The House Energy and Commerce Committee released the report. Republicans say it proves that despite White House assurances earlier this year that everything was going fine, they should have known Obamacare was facing serious problems.
World powers resume negotiations today with Iran over its nuclear program. Israelis are concerned an agreement could allow Iran to make a nuclear bomb. But in recent weeks, Israel has found an unexpected ally in France. Here's Chris Mitchell now from Jerusalem.
Israel got a boost this week during a 3-day visit by French President François Hollande. France stopped the last round of talks in Geneva when it refused Iran's terms. In a speech to Israel's parliament, Hollande said he would hold the line on sanctions.
It is now for Iran to respond, not just with words, but with concrete measures that are verifiable. And I affirm here that sanctions will be maintained until Iran has definitely removed its nuclear weapons program.
Hollande's speech was good news for Israeli leaders who feel an interim agreement would let Iran off the sanctions hook.
This is one of our concerns, that since this interim agreement
is so good for Iran and so convenient for the Iranians, they are giving entirely nothing and getting a lot of reductions on the sanctions and legitimation as a threshold nuclear country.
This is the most frightening nightmare of all that we're dealing with in foreign policy.
U.S. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann was in Israel this month and told CBN News it's the wrong time to go easy on Iran.
Just when economic sanctions are really working, we've got Iran exactly where they're about to have their back broken. They're down on their knees. And just when they're down on their knees, the Obama administration wants to pull all the pressure back, and they want to give Iran the space they need, in addition to the luxury of time, to finish their project of developing a nuclear weapon.
Bachmann believes Iran's nuclear program and its supreme leader, Khamenei, threaten both Israel and the West.
Khamenei will not only use a nuclear weapon against Israel, they will use it against any other Western civilization. They will use it against Europe. They will use a nuclear weapon against the United States of America. Don't think for a moment that they won't. They will. They seek the elimination of the United States just as surely as they seek the elimination of the Jewish state of Israel.
But Israel is not the only concerned country in the region. The Gulf states just across the Persian Gulf, and especially Saudi Arabia, see Iran as Israel does.
I think the evidence is undeniable that the Israeli and Saudi positions vis-a-vis Iran and the need to prevent a nuclear Iran and the deep concerns regarding the current direction of events in Geneva and in the negotiations, the evidence of that is unmistakable. Israel and Saudi Arabia are on the same page vis-a-vis Iran.
In the meantime, Israel is campaigning against any agreement that would allow Iran to get a nuclear bomb. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be in Moscow this week to lobby Russian President Vladimir Putin. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Meanwhile, in Iran, Pastor Saeed Abedini was allowed a family visit for the first time since his transfer to Raja Shahar prison. The American Center for Law and Justice says this is a positive sign and that international pressure is working to keep Pastor Saeed alive. Since his sudden transfer to this different and more dangerous prison, Pastor Saeed has been denied his medicine. Last week, the U.S. Senate unanimously passed a bipartisan resolution calling for his release. A similar resolution is pending in the House of Representatives.
Here at home, key supporters of immigration reform say it will pass despite House Speaker John Boehner saying he will not take any action this year. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush is predicting a bill in the spring, and Hispanic evangelical leader Samuel Rodriguez says the momentum is growing.
More evangelical churches, more pastors, more key Christian leaders are more committed to immigration reform today than ever before. So what I see is a bit of, let's just say, political maneuvering on behalf of Congress on the issue of immigration reform, but the inevitability of immigration reform passing, it's a done deal.
Rodriguez and other Hispanic evangelical leaders are in Washington, D.C. this week for a summit on social justice issues like poverty, the right to life, and immigration reform.
New legislation allowing gay marriage in Illinois could pose a threat to some businesses. While the legislation says religious institutions, clergy, and some private clubs don't have to allow or officiate gay weddings, it isn't as clear for businesses whose owners may not want to participate because it violates their religious beliefs. That could result in more court battles, just as other states have seen.
Residents in the Midwest are picking up the pieces after a series of massive storms and tornadoes. About 11 twisters touched down in Illinois Sunday, leaving at least 6 people dead. The tornado that hit the town of Washington, Illinois, cut a path an eighth of a mile wide from one side of the community to the other. As many as 500 homes were damaged. Operation Blessing is on the ground helping people to recover. They're partnering with local churches to provide help with debris cleanup and delivery of supplies. Operation Blessing is also providing spiritual and emotional support through prayer.
Coming up, why early retirement might not be best for your health. The connection between work and Alzheimer's prevention, next.
Hi, my name is Breda. I'm just your typical 9-year-old. I love singing, dancing, reading, discovering the simple truth. My grandpa says you're never too young or old to learn the value of a dollar. He taught me the true value of this paper dollar. You see this little gold coin? It says $1 on it. But guess what? That was a long time ago. Today, this gold dollar is worth over 100 paper dollars. This paper dollar is now only worth 1 penny compared to America's former money, the gold dollar. My grandpa says the only money worth saving today is real money, gold or silver coins. He's pretty smart. How our paper dollars lost their value, he says. It's all explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. It's easy and fun to read. If you call the number on the screen, I will send you a copy totally free. Next time, I will explain the simple truth about money.
Help!
If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was. Help! And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Yeah! Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
Studies of children around the world show kids today are less fit than their parents were. An analysis of those studies by the American Heart Association shows kids don't run as fast or as far as their parents did when they were young. Heart-related fitness has declined 5% per decade since 1975. Health experts recommend children 6 and older get 60 minutes of moderately vigorous activity throughout each day.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers is pushing Facebook and other internet companies to better protect privacy for children and teens. The Do Not Track Kids Act extends protection to teens aged 13 to 15 by forbidding online companies from collecting their personal and location information without their consent. It also requires companies to obtain parental consent to collect such information from kids under the age of 13. It will create an eraser button so parents and their kids could eliminate publicly available personal information, and it would require companies to explain the types of personal information that they collect and how it's used. The bill is being considered in both the House and the Senate.
An eye exam could help diagnose Alzheimer's disease earlier. That is according to new research. A team of scientists found genetically engineered mice with Alzheimer's develop thinning of the retina. That degeneration may reveal degeneration of the brain linked to the disease. That's because the retina is made from the same tissue that makes up the brain. Researchers are optimistic about the findings. They believe with the right tools, eye doctors could help detect Alzheimer's in patients who are not showing any other signs.
Well, while there is no cure for Alzheimer's, there are some ways to fight against the illness.
Indeed, Laurie Johnson shows us why those who delay their retirement are actually less likely to develop the disease.
Our choices can make a difference about whether we get Alzheimer's or keep it at bay. So says a study of 500,000 people that shows for each additional year a person worked, the risk of getting Alzheimer's was reduced by 3%. The reason is because working is more demanding than retirement, physically, mentally, and socially. Stimulation in all three of those areas leads to a healthy brain because they increase the blood flow in the brain and also increase chemicals that protect the brain and slow its deterioration. In addition to those activities, a healthy brain also depends on a good diet, according to a study at the Oregon Health and Science University.
We're interested in things that might have a role in the prevention of Alzheimer's disease, but also looking for things that might be actually causing the disease.
Bowman and his colleagues studied 104 seniors with an average age of 87 and found people who ate trans fats scored lower on thinking and memory tests. Trans fat is in processed foods. It's called hydrogenated oil in the list of ingredients. It's also in fast food, margarine, and vegetable shortening.
Trans fats are they're kind of all over the place.
On the other hand, seniors who ate diets high in vitamins B, C, D, and E, as well as omega-3 fats, scored higher.
So it's a combination of staying away from the bad and getting the good. If you just do one, you may not get the bonus effect.
Some Alzheimer's patients exhibit tremendous improvement after taking coconut oil. Steve Newport's Alzheimer's was so advanced, this is what happened when he tried to draw a picture of a clock. But then his wife, who's also a doctor, started giving him coconut oil. And 2 weeks later, his clock drawing was much better.
I thought at the time, was it just good luck? Was it a lot of prayer? Was it the coconut oil? And I thought, well, we're going to keep the coconut oil going.
3 weeks later, his clock drawing demonstrated an even healthier brain. Dr. Newport wrote a book about Steve's success with coconut oil and has since heard from readers with similar stories.
Some of these responses have been quite dramatic, and I do have a collection now of almost 220 reports, mostly from caregivers and some from the person themselves, reporting that they saw improvement after they started taking coconut oil.
So there are lots of things you can do to improve your brain health, stimulate your mind with work and puzzles, challenge your body with cardiovascular and strength training, and connect emotionally with others. Also, eat a diet rich in vitamins, omega-3 fats, and coconut oil while avoiding trans fats. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Up next, it's not just a habitat for humanity, it's a habitat for heroes. Hear how one group is helping vets and answering prayers.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Life in the military, it's tough. And for many Americans, wounded warriors, life after their service can also be challenging.
But as David Brody reports, many Americans are giving them the help they need.
You want to show them your green room?
Come on. Own room. Right here. You have your own pretty window. You can look outside every morning.
There's no place like home, and for Sergeant J.D. Williams and his family, having a place to call their own has been a long time coming.
I think half of my daughter's life, she grew up in a hotel room. It's been pretty stressful, you know, for the past couple of years that I've been injured.
On October 9th, 2010, Williams stepped on an IED, and the explosion took both legs and an arm.
I remember rolling over on my back and looking at my hands, and then it was all covered in blood, and looked over at my right arm and noticed it was gone and started taking contact from the enemy.
They weren't really sure exactly, you know, what his injuries were, what was going to happen, if he was going to make it.
He did make it, but the road back has been slow and long.
Someone gave me the advice when all of this first happened that, you know, things will be better tomorrow. Today might not be the greatest day, but tomorrow will be better. So just don't give up.
And it's been full of unexpected blessings. First and foremost, a new home that JD calls his House of Valor. One built with his specific needs in mind.
Double oven, nice low oven so JD can cook, putting stuff in the lower oven, right?
I do the cooking anyway.
Kelly Paul, wife of Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, gave CBN News a special tour. She serves on the board of Helping a Hero, the organization that gave JD this home.
They have an antler chandelier because JD's originally from Montana and he loves to hunt.
Bamboo floors, and this is the hardest product that they said that you could get for wheelchairs or the legs that JD has.
It's been quite an experience for you to be a blessing to someone, but yet you've been kind of blessed in the process too, I would think.
You just see the light in people. You see God working through people. People are so grateful sometimes to have the opportunity to express goodness.
Some 90 injured veterans across more than 20 states now live in homes that allow them to be self-sufficient.
So just to be able to watch him, you know, learn to relive his life again on his own without help, I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Everyone we talked to felt the same way, especially Benny Jones, who wasn't too keen on helping out in the beginning.
I didn't want to do this. Really? I'm telling you the truth. I didn't want to do it.
His wife saw an article in the paper about the effort. Well, she repeatedly asked him to read it, and each time he said no.
Honey, we're real busy. I'll read it when I get a chance. When I read the story, that was it. God wouldn't let me not do it. When you can tell when God's voice is talking to you. We called Mrs. Paul and we said, what can we do to help? She said, we need a builder. I said, you've got one.
But when asked to help, people often end up giving more.
This is one of the few projects that people actually call you up and say, thank you for asking me to give, for letting me have the opportunity to change this family's life.
One anonymous donor mailed $500 in $20 bills to builder Larkin Ritter.
That's what's been neat. No one wants credit. Nobody's passing business cards out. Yeah. They're all just, what can I do?
The 4-bedroom home is worth around $400,000, but helping a vet helped complete it for about $150,000 in cash. Senator Rand Paul joined forces with Kentucky Democrat John Yarmouth to raise money for the organization.
Republicans and Democrats don't always agree in Washington. That's a news flash. But one thing we do seem to come together on is trying to help our wounded veterans.
Whether you believe in the war or not in the war, but you see what this family's been through and what he's gave and his commitment and his sacrifice for this country. It's very little that's asked of us.
But JD won't call it a sacrifice.
I was a very, very fortunate leader to not lose anybody, both deployments that I've done, and still be here today, you know, and being able to, you know, say I did take a IED out, you know, out of everybody else, out of harm's way, just you know, and I lived through it. I remember looking up at the sky and asking God, like, give me one more chance, you know, and for him to come back and have all these good people that live right here, build us a home and stuff, it's definitely God, you know, looking out for us. And I feel like I died that day and went to heaven because everything's just been so smooth for us and so amazing that I feel like a better man today than I was before I got injured.
Reporting from Auburn, Kentucky, I'm David Brody, CBN News.
And what a great program for those who are so well-deserving.
Indeed, indeed. Hats off to that wonderful wife as well, being supportive in the midst of all that. Oh,
Excellent.
God bless them. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Grace, music is unpredictable.
I know I have what it takes.
The Dove Foundation raves. Grace Unplugged is remarkable and inspiring.
This is not about the music. It's about everything else that goes with it.
Dad, were you watching me?
A moving and meaningful film
This book, his words shook me. It was like my whole world.
that parents and teens should see together, says Focus on the Family.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna drag her back home?
Yeah, I might. I think maybe you're fighting God. Just stop running.
Grace Unplugged, rated PG, now playing.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Grace, music is unpredictable.
I know I have what it takes.
The Dove Foundation raves. Grace Unplugged is remarkable and inspiring.
This is not about the music. It's about everything else that goes with it.
Dad, were you watching me?
A moving and meaningful film
This book, his words shook me. It was like my whole world.
that parents and teens should see together, says Focus on the Family.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna drag her back home?
Yeah, I might. I think maybe you're fighting God. Just stop running.
Grace Unplugged, rated PG, now playing.
Finally today, thousands of people are viewing a newly launched CBN website in Chinese.
Indeed, that is right. 7G.TV currently has 251 online videos, and each week, 5 new videos are added, some of which feature testimonies. It is only 6 months. The videos have been viewed more than 1 million times in that period. Social media also allows viewers to send in their own videos, sharing how much they've been touched by 7G.TV.
CBN is always on the cutting edge. I love it.
Covering the earth with the gospel.
Praise God.
That is the mission, indeed.
That's what it's all about. Well, that's it for now on CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do it on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make it a wonderful Wednesday, everybody.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.